morning, everybody, and we are live at Manhattanville College here in Rye, New York for, well, it's an annual event, really, and it is the Walk for Breast Cancer by the American Cancer Society. Again, we're live at Manhattanville College. I'm Bob Marone for Westchester Talk Radio. We're produced this morning by Shaw Creative and made possible by Robeson, ENT and Allergy Associates, and Hightower, Westchester. And the event is not yet underway. It is a walk, run. It's very casual. What's more important is that everyone is wearing pink, including myself. Everyone is wearing pink in honor of this effort, and some 7,500 people are scheduled to be here. Is that right, Joe? Something like that, some number like that. Well, our first guest of the day, and we're proud to have her. She is a survivor of breast cancer. Her name is Danielle Calvano. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's great to have you, and I got to tell you, God bless you. You've survived. How long ago did you suffer with this illness? Tell us your story.
So when I was 36 years old, I found a lump in my breast. I have no family history, and went to my doctors and was diagnosed with breast cancer at White Plains Hospital, where I was an emergency room physician assistant.
That's what you did. Wow. So being in the business, it means that makes it even a little more nerve-wracking.
It was terrifying because as a PA in the emergency room, I really didn't know that much about oncology. I diagnosed people with cancer, incidentally when they came to the ER, but I knew very little about the disease.
You must have been just so rattled. Now, when you felt the lump in your breast, did you say, oh my goodness, or did you say, oh, it could be anything, let me get a biopsy?
I forgot to rinse the conditioner out of my hair when I was in the shower. That's how much I knew that it was something.
Okay, so obviously you go to the doctor, you get your biopsy. Tell us what happened next.
So I received 2 biopsies, and the first biopsy was what's called stage 0 breast cancer, or ductal carcinoma in situ, and the second biopsy was triple positive breast cancer, so estrogen, progesterone, and HER2 positive. I needed surgery and chemotherapy for.
You did have surgery and chemotherapy. Was it a lumpectomy or a complete mastectomy, if you're comfortable to talk about it?
Very comfortable. I chose to have a bilateral mastectomy. I've been working in breast cancer for the last 12 years, and the survival of lumpectomy with radiation and mastectomy is equal. And some women do make the choice. I think less women are making that choice now because there's so much evidence that it's not a necessary procedure. But some people feel that it's it's what they want to do.
Okay, which is the decision that you made. Did you go for reconstruction following that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you, I have a good friend who, in fact, I did a radio special for her. She had one of her breasts removed it's a year ago, and she's gone for the reconstruction. She is extremely happy, and it's not really all completed yet. Is it that effective and successful in your view?
So, anytime you're having a larger surgery, lumpectomy versus mastectomy, the bigger the surgery, the increased complication risk. But nowadays, there are amazing plastic surgeons out there, and we're able to really do a great job reconstructing the breast most of the time. Sometimes people do have some significant complications, but the complication, risk is low, but it does happen. So, I just think everybody needs to make the choice for themselves, lumpectomy versus mastectomy. And, I think talking to your doctors, doing your research, and being your own advocate as to which way you want to go is very important.
We're talking with Danielle Calvano. She is a survivor of breast cancer going all the way back to 2008. And we are here at the Walk for Cancer by the American Cancer Society at Manhattanville College. Now, you get the results. You go for the surgery. A man will never know. Men have their own ways of identifying themselves. Obviously, for a woman, her body, her shape, all those kinds of things are, and generally speaking, extremely powerful things for a woman. How did you deal with that? How can you encourage others in terms of dealing with that? And even though it's offset by they saved your life.
So, as you were mentioning, men versus women, so just some statistics. Over 300,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. And believe it or not, 300,000 women and almost 3,000 men will be diagnosed. So, anytime a man finds a lump in his breast, he should bring that to his physician's attention, because the mortality rate of men versus women is actually higher because men don't think they can get breast cancer. Men do have some breast tissue. So, just if there's anyone in your life, who is a man, they're at increased risk. As far as women are concerned, I think you're talking about, surgery and all these things. And I think the biggest part is everybody needs to be their own advocate for themselves, whether it be screening for breast cancer or screening for any other cancers. If you have a feeling in the back of your mind that there's something wrong, talk to your doctor. If your doctor, doesn't believe you, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to say, listen, I know my body. I think there's something terribly wrong. I did end up having a biopsy, but I waited a little while because initially I was 36 years old with no family history, and the doctors were like, you should be good. Let's wait a little while and we'll take a look in another couple of months. And, that amount of time, my lesion doubled in size, and, I was very, very lucky that it did not spread. So, I always say, follow up, advocate for yourselves, and if you have someone that's not listening to you, go somewhere else.
Now, a lot of women listening are going to say, okay, how did you deal with the emotional impact?
So it's a lot. We have a ton of support. We're so blessed in this county to have so much support. We have cancer support team. We have Gilda's Club Westchester. We have Support Connection. These are all resources. We have the American Cancer Society that has a 1-800 phone number that you can call. We have so many resources in this very, this very rich area that we live in. So we're very blessed by that. So, we here at, White Plains Hospital, where I work at the Cancer Center, we have navigators, we have, social workers, we have an interdisciplinary team, we have an amazing group of doctors. So, anyone who needs care can come to us. But, I think when it comes to the emotional support, when you know that you're not feeling good, when you know that you're sad, when you know that you're depressed, just reach out. There are so many other survivors out there that would be willing to talk to you. I find that anybody in my circle of friends who gets diagnosed with breast cancer, if they don't reach out to me, they have a friend reach out to me. And, that's the one thing that I think most breast cancer survivors are willing to do, is pay it forward to anyone who gets a diagnosis. So, reach out and make sure that you're getting the emotional support that you need.
Do you worry about it still? I mean, this is wonderful what you're doing with your experience. How long, well, as you said, you did not metastasize. Did you have any lymph involvement?
I did not.
Well, that's good, but still. How long before you really stop worrying about it and go on with your life?
As a medical professional, I don't think I'll ever stop worrying. I think that, anytime you get diagnosed with cancer, I think almost everyone who's ever had a cancer diagnosis will worry about another cancer diagnosis, whether it's the same one or something different. So, I don't ever stop worrying, unfortunately.
How much does it affect your day-to-day life?
It doesn't. So, when October comes around, because my diagnosis was on October 21st, 2008, and I'm in charge of the Making Strides team, White Plains Hospital Team Hope. So it's a constant reminder during the month. But the farther away you are from it, the farther in the back of your mind it is. But it's still ever present, unfortunately.
All right. Now, this is a very important question. Inquiring minds want to know, how long have you been lying about your age?
I appreciate that.
No, really, you look terrific. God, you're the picture of health. And I'm saying that for people who are out there and saying, well, how will I go on? If they're as fortunate as you are with their treatment and how you've dealt with it emotionally, they're going to do real well. Anything, I'd like to give you a moment to talk to people who are worried or maybe pending a biopsy. Who can they talk with? What advice would you give them?
So when you are waiting for your biopsy, you can still reach out to, some of the local resources, but talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. Call the imaging center. A lot of times they have navigators, or they have people that are willing to help and support you. And if you know anybody who's had the diagnosis, they can always help as well. They've been through it. Even any other friends that have had a biopsy, they've been through it. And don't. So I always say to people, there's only one thing scarier, or there's only one thing worse than the diagnosis, is the fear of getting diagnosed. And that delays people's diagnosis and therefore their treatment. And so it is scary to think about having cancer, but that fear can actually cause your life. Because, I've seen women come in with masses in their breasts that are just astronomically large, and they were just scared to get it diagnosed. And a lot of times it's too late once you do get it diagnosed. So if you find something, just like they say, if you see something, say something. If you find something, bring it to your physician's attention, bring it to your nurse practitioner's attention, your PA's attention, and get it biopsied. Because if it's biopsied and diagnosed early, your survival in like stage 0 and 1 breast cancer is over 90%.
Now, I'm going to take a leap here. They can go to the American Cancer Society website and get all the information they need as well, can they not?
Yes, absolutely. So there's not only information about when you have the diagnosis, but before your diagnosis. So there's information on there about, information about a biopsy. There's information about the mammograms. There's information about ultrasounds. They have a ton of information. All you have to do is go to cancer.org and type in breast cancer in the search bar, and you'll get all that information.
Wow. Danielle Calvano, what a spokesperson for what we're here today, which is, of course, the Walk for Breast Cancer by the American Cancer Society. Amazing woman. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. We're going to take a break, folks. I'm Bob Marone here with Joe Logano for Westchester Talk Radio. We'll be back after this.